You guys are unmuted and unvideoed. Okay. You all right, David?
Yeah, not too bad.
Do you want that keyboard as a backup or not?
What's that?
The keyboard for the screen. Do you think you may want it?
I doubt it. But
No.
Morning, John. How are you?
I'm very well, thank you, Barbara.
Good, good.
We look a bit short on numbers yet.
Yeah, they must be not far away, John.
Mm.
Let's hope. Oops. John, I haven't heard of any apologies, have you?
No, I haven't.
Good, thank you.
Can you hear me, Barbara?
Oh, hello. Hello, Kevin. How are you?
I'm fine. You?
Good, good,
Good.
yes. Yeah,
You
how's
looking fine?
Andrea? Yeah,
Oh, we're all good. No COVID.
good. That's excellent.
That might kill me if I get that.
Oh,
There's plenty
It
of
is
others
all-
got it. Not too
Yeah,
many of them dying.
Yeah, a few though. But I just heard a young, really good friend of ours. It's her husband's a doctor, and she's got it. She's only she'd be 40 something, 43, and she is really, really sick with it.
oh no.
So it hits some people real hard, and she
Does,
Jeez.
yeah. The
vaccinated.
Terrible thing, isn't it?
Everything's frozen.
Kevin's frozen, yeah. Hello, Anne. How are you? Hello, James. Murray. Grant. How are
Morning.
you all? Luke.
Morning.
Morning, morning. Hello, Mark.
Good morning, everybody.
Morning.
morning, Mark. Just better wait for one or two more.
All right. Pardon me.
Looks like we've got the Brains Trust there waiting for us. They're not
Hey, mate.
responding.
Everyone's shy today,
Yeah, it's unusual, isn't it?
isn't it? Right, so we're waiting. Oh, Monique, good morning. Got you. Waiting for Margaret. Is Ellen there? Don and the Mayor?
Yeah, I saw the mayor's name.
Mayor's there. Good.
Morning all.
Oh, good
Morning,
morning,
Dawn.
Don. How are you?
Yeah, sun
Good as
shining
gold.
out here.
Awesome.
You're lucky. Only a bit of blue sky I can see over Te Puna.
Oh, we've got blue sky in Otamotai.
Oh,
I'll share it with you,
You got to
Anne.
look in the distance to find a cloud at Pongakawa.
oh, really?
I only have to look a distance of damn near arm's length. Very cloudy here.
Yeah, I know. But it's very cool. It's a lovely autumn morning.
Very beautiful.
Yeah. Oh, we must be just about all here, I think, are we?
Yes, I think I'm just looking for Margaret Murray Benge. I haven't seen her pop onto Zoom, but we could certainly start, sir.
Yeah, we're past 9:30, so I think we
Yes.
should kick it all off. So I'd like to declare this annual plan, long-term plan committee meeting open and welcome you all along. It's great to see, as I say, the Brains Trust there in the office. Welcome to you, team. And so we don't have any apologies.
I'm not sure Margaret Murray Benge is here, sir, but I haven't heard from her.
He's there.
She's here.
Oh,
Okay,
she's here. Thank you.
cool. Well, I think we've got a full muster then, so that's good. There's no late items. And so are there any declarations of interest anyone wishes to declare? Seems no. Okay. And we have no public forum notified.
No, sir.
So we're really ready to go into the meat of the meeting. And I'm guessing it's over to Matthew to lead us through this, is it, Matt?
Yep, that'll be fine. Good morning, Mayor and councillors. This paper is really to adopt the annual plan consultation document for public consultation. The annual plan is projected to align very closely with the LTP that we adopted last year. So we're looking at a rates increase of about 3.96%, which is only marginally lower than the 3.98% forecast through the LTP. Our plans are very close. The only change that we are considering is really to the Pukina development rate. And we're asking the Pukina community around what should the future of that development rate be. So the Pukina development rate is the only item in scope. And that means that any submissions that we receive that request material or significant changes to other parts of our business or budgets can't really be considered through this process, and instead will just be deferred until the next annual plan. The paper also seeks adoption of the fees and charges to be consulted on concurrently alongside the annual plan, with consultation running from 21 March to 21 April. We're available to answer any questions, but I'll hand it back to you, the chair.
Yeah, thanks, Matt. Before we go to questions, there was a correction notified in terms of the document. Would you like to outline that briefly, please?
Yeah, there was a few corrections that will be made to the fees and charges document primarily, but probably one of the major ones was to the development engineering fee, which we had a typo that said the minimum charge would be $250, and it should have been significantly more than that. I think $800. Correction.
Cool. Thank you for that. Okay, over to questions. Everybody's stunned into silence, are they? Or am I not reading something?
There's a couple of hands up, John. Councillor Granger and Mayor Webber have got their hands up.
Okay, if we could go to you first then, please, Murray.
Thanks. Good morning. I noticed on page 12 of the document, or 39 of our 29 of our agenda, I think it is, that there is a repetition. Oops, I've just lost the page. Repetition at the bottom of the table there of some figures.
Okay, if we've got a note of that then.
And I have a question about why, given fuel prices increasing rapidly, we are reducing mileage charges. Admittedly, it's only by a cent, but why are we reducing charges when our costs are going up?
To answer your question, Murray, we use the rate that's prescribed by inland revenue, and we're hamstrung by the guidance they give us in that area. No doubt the rate will catch up as petrol prices fall into their metric, but at the moment we are using inland revenue's metric.
And we're forced to.
Yes, is the short answer. Cool. Okay, Mayor Gary.
Yeah, Matt, you made the point that nothing outside of Pukahina we can consider if we get applications coming in. What's the background to that, so that everybody's aware, please?
Just because we've adopted the annual plan and we've gone out and said the only material or significant change that we're looking at doing through this process is the Pukahina development rate, and we're keeping everything else in line with the long-term plan. We are therefore sort of in line with that legislation, have to keep within those limits. So anything else that's significant or material, it triggers the requirement for consultation through the annual plan process. So we've said this is the scope, and we have to keep to that scope through this process.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay.
All right, we've got another hand up there, have we? Can someone tell me who that is?
Councillor Murray Benge.
Okay, Councillor Murray Benge.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Yes.
Good, thank you. I'm just concerned about the roading rate and the costs with inflation and supply of products, how on earth we can hold it to where we've got it at the moment. Could someone answer that, please?
Gary, are you there?
Well, essentially, I'll chip in for a start then while staff are thinking about that. But we have the contract with Westlink, which they're obliged to carry out. And so their contract specifies prices and they're obliged to honour those. Sure, that's difficult for them, but I have a personal feeling that they've been pretty well rewarded at times on the other side of the fence, and they've taken every shortcut they can at times. So I don't feel desperately sorry for them. Does anyone from staff wish to have a chip in on that?
Could I get Margaret? Could you repeat that question again, please?
I'm just concerned that the costs we've put in there for roading are undervalued when you consider inflation, and the costs of materials that are coming our way is going to make it extremely difficult to maintain the standard we've got at the present time. Am I wrong? Hope so.
No, if you recall, when we worked through the annual plan process, we did signal, and also through the previous LTP, we did signal that it was going to be an increase in pricing, and that's what we've seen through the contract extension, and that's what we're expecting to see in the marketplace. So we have included in the LTP budget and allowed some increases. Whether it's sufficient or not, we don't know yet, and we won't know that till we go to the market. We do test it by putting some projects out to competitive tender. So, for example, Mokro Road went out to competitive tender. That we've got a good price and good relationship with swaps, so that's been successful, and that probably hasn't been affected so much by market prices. But other things we are hearing that there's the 20 or 30% lift in prices. at the end of the day, we end up having to manage the balancing between the budget that the council set and the work program, and sometimes the work program has to reduce to match the budget. But at this point, what's in the budget for next year looks sufficient, but bearing in mind that may need to be some changes because of those factors, and that might alter the work program.
So we could in fact see a reduction in standard if things get
the standards, so the standards for maintenance come through the maintenance contract, so they should continue to be met. But if the contractor, for example, at the moment can't get staff because of COVID, then we're going to be missing some of those standards. The contract is under price tension. It's still under price tension, even though there's been a lift in prices. And notwithstanding what the chair is saying, there is a tension there at the moment.
Yeah, understood.
Thank you, Gary. I also have another question, if that's possible.
Yes, go straight ahead then, Margaret.
It's a very small one, but I thought someone might be able to give me some details. Pies Pa Hall, it's got quite a significant cost factor there. They're obviously doing some work. Is that hall still operating as it should do? We were tempted to actually sell it a few years ago. Anybody?
Is Blaze
Blaze is not online, but if I can respond, as I understand, there's a struggle there with the committee, and the committee is, shall we say, aged, and there's not replacements coming through, and so there's potential discussions around that hall if there's no replacement committee found. So if the community is not going to operate it, then there's a question for the council, then becomes the council as to what you do with it.
I suppose that's the case, Gary, but they are spending quite a lot of money. I think it's $20 per ratepayer area of benefit, so they're obviously intending to do some work.
Yes, but remember that also covers the insurance costs and compliance costs.
okay? Grant Daly, you've got your hand up.
Yeah, thanks, John. Just having a bit of trouble trying to get my Stellar open on my other computer, but my question is about the Pukeina development rate and why the preferred option is the status quo, basically. Is that a staff direction, or was that gleaned from councillor direction?
Through the chair, that was from council the direction through the discussions that we've had in workshops with yourselves.
Back in December, wasn't it, Matt?
That's correct.
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, I was present at those meetings and didn't feel that we ended up on a conclusive, firm direction, but I'll go with that.
Okay, thanks, Grant. Councillor Henry.
Just going back to Margaret's question, I'm just looking at my rates notice. The roading rating has increased since 2021, I mean. And I'm not one to increase rates because I'm really happy that we've got it under the 4% like we said we would. But why? Because we are getting contractors as the jobs come along, unlike other downers where we've got a contract that lasts so many years and stuff. Why can't we put the rates up for our roading? And I'm not saying do it because I know we're at 3.9, but is that the reason why we're not?
Gary, do you want to have another cut at that?
Yeah, sure. So the rate that's been set is based on our projected expenditure. So for next year, it matches our projected expenditure. The rate has gone up, for example, because the amount of seal extension doubled, so that affects the rates because the majority of that is rates funded. For the following year, there might be a different question, and we'll have to do a review at that stage, because we have more information around the forward work program and what's happened to the construction. But for the next year, based on our current predictions, we're okay.
Thank you, Gary. Okay, well, I can't see any more hand. Oh, yes, I can. Or have they not taken down Councillor Murray Benj, Councillor Henry? Did you have more questions?
Yes, I did. It's on the Makatu sewage scheme. If you could tell me, is everybody paying, or have we been able to sign up the lot that didn't want to participate in it? Can I hear where that's at, please?
Probably two separate questions. The first question is everyone connected? No, we still have those properties that have not connected, the 5. In terms of whether anyone's paying, I think maybe David can answer that question in terms of the rating system.
I'd have to respond separately, Margaret. I don't have the information right in front of me right now.
And is there no hope of getting the 5 to actually pay anything?
You're on mute, Gary.
I can't recall off my head, Margaret, whether we're charging them a half charge, an availability charge, if we can, for wastewater. So that's payment. Probably the more critical question is, can we get them to connect? And at the moment, with their ownership, it is extremely difficult and problematic.
Okay, I am thinking we've exhausted the questions. Is that all right? So if we go to the recommendations, then do we have, or perhaps I should say, I'm happy to move recommendations 1 to 7.
Happy to second that, John.
Thank you, James. Does anyone wish to speak to this motion? James.
Yeah, I just want to commend staff for all their work in bringing us an annual plan for consultation. That's largely consistent with our LTP and the rates increase, which is at or indeed fractionally below what we indicated it would be. Saying what we do and then doing it is at the core of good governance. So with that, I'm happy to second this resolution.
Thank you very much. Councillor Daly.
Yes, I'm supportive of these recommendations. I'd just like to make a brief comment with regard to the Pokehena development rate, and that is we've attended, some of us have been attending Future for Local Government workshops recently, and the one last Friday was on the system of local governments, and sort of an overwhelming theme that I got from these workshops was, and even from both rural councils, provincial councils, and even Auckland boards, subsidiary to the Auckland Council, was that these smaller communities were struggling with discretionary funding being available for them, because they feel that, they know their area best. They should be able to have some sort of discretion in any council funding in their area. And so I do support the fact that we've gone out for consultation on this. I do commend councillors on including the third option, where the fund could be repurposed for a community development rate. And I've been hearing, that is what small communities like this actually want. And going forward into the future, it's probably going to be a big part of what we're going to get. So I'm happy to support the recommendations. Thank you.
Thank you. Councillor Thwaites.
Thanks, Chairman John. Yeah, I fully support this. I appear to have a lot more confidence this year in the breakdown figures per sector than I did last year. I still believe there were mistakes made last year, but that's by and by. With that said, I'm confident enough to see, I would like to see this loaded up onto our rates search function as soon as it's possibly staff have time to do it. I believe that leaves people in a strong position to see their exact position and not make outlandish claims. The huge bulk of our urban population, over half of the property or half the properties, are going to be well under that 3.96%. So that's a good news story. We're certainly showing our hand in addressing inflation nationwide, even world, by looking at the news. So we're addressing our spending, our problem. Sure, going forward, there's some challenges ahead, but that's for the next council and the next job. I believe this is a responsible amount, and I fully support it. And like I said, I would hope that we could get this up on our rate search function to show the impact on individual properties as soon as possible, to put our ratepayers in the strongest possible to comment on it. Thanks, John.
Thank you, Don. We'll go for comment on that after we've dealt with the resolution, I think.
Okay.
Councillor Murray-Benge.
Thank you, John. I support the recommendation, and I think under the circumstances, with the way society is going at the moment and the financial pressures that we're under, I think this is an honest budget that we will try and keep to. But there was one point I particularly wanted to make. The lifestyle people are actually a little bit above the 4% in their rate demand this time. And maybe it's time to actually look at reviewing the zoning of lifestyle blocks to make more land available for residential development. And I hope that we can look at that during the review of the district scheme, or even faster than that. So I'm supportive of the recommendations. Thank you.
Thank you. Councillor Sol.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I too also support this motion, and congratulate staff again, as has been said before, for how well they've worked at dealing with quite difficult times at present, trying to keep us in the game, doing the work, but still being prudent. And I can only ask that we continue to, of course, keep assessing as we go forward. I support this motion.
Okay, thank you. I think we have run out of speakers, so I'll put the motion. All those in favour, please raise your hand, I guess is the best thing. Whoops. Yep, I see a number of hands up, so I think I can safely say the resolution was carried. Can we go back, staff, to Don's question of the practicality of loading this proposal onto our rate search?
Yes,
promptly?
I can. Through Mr. Chair, we can, staff can load the proposed rates increases onto the council website, as we did with the long-term plan. Probably the only comment I'd make is that we're not actively seeking submissions on rates increases, but we can certainly put that up for information for the community.
Yep, that would be great. Thank you. All right. Well, I think that concludes our business for the day. There's no information for receipts, so thank you all.
Mr. Chair, sorry, can you just declare that carried?
Sorry, did I not say that? Okay. Yes, I declare the motion carried based on the hands raised. Thank you very much. And with that, having declared the motion carried, I can declare the meeting closed. Thank you all very much for your attendance.
Thank you, sir. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.